Yeah, Mets owner Steve Cohen, who is definitely not Bobby Axelrod from Billions, said just I think it was yesterday or over the weekend, how the Dodgers have put a great team together. They can spend, and he makes an aside saying, I can spend too, which is true. It just seems that everybody's taking the Dodgers' money. Why is that? They're offering the 401k, or it's just like, why wouldn't you want to be teammates with Shohei Ohtani and managed by Dave Roberts and winning two in a row when they could win a third in a row? Is that what it is?
Yeah. How about you get to go play on the best team in baseball and get to play with the best player in history? Sounds pretty good to me. And what the Dodgers have to offer beyond that, Rich, is the advantage that they have, and that they have gobs of cash. And they're owned by Guggenheim Partners, which is a money manager that has more than $350 billion under management at this point. And, Steve Cohen is one of the richest men in the world. And then you have a bunch of owners who, would they like to win? Sure. But at what cost? Is it a deficit spending? Is it otherwise? How do they do it? And I think people who are observers of baseball right now feel like the on-field product pretty darn good at this point. You've got stars like Ohtani and like Aaron Judge, like legitimately generational guys. But does the rest of the game feel fair? And if not, what can they do to go and solve that? And figuring out, I think, if there is a happy medium between what the owners want in a salary cap and what the players want in essentially a status quo system is going to be the rub of this whole thing. And they do that. But they're going to be creative and open-minded enough people to go out and try and strike a deal rather than run this thing off the cliff.
Have we seen all the movement preseason? Are we done with it? Or is there just going to be another team to screw it? The Dodgers get Kyle Tucker. We're just going to load up and we're going to make a trade and we're going to find somebody that's sitting on their current team that makes $1 gajillion and screw it. We're going to go on a luxury tax and we're going to go for it. Is there anything like that in the ether, Jeff?
It could happen, but there's nothing really percolating at this point. There are a few free agents left out there, but all the big names, Lucas Giolito is the biggest now, and he's a very good pitcher, and he's going to do well in free agency. But beyond that, there's really not a whole lot. We've got the teams where we are right now, and the greatest hope, Rich, is not going to be out-talenting the Dodgers, because there's not a team that can out-talent the Dodgers. This is going to be more about the randomness of baseball. And let's not forget, 3 years ago, the Arizona Diamondbacks absolutely woodshedded the Dodgers in the postseason and wound up making a World Series run themselves. So the nature of baseball makes it possible, but the talent of the Dodgers is so overwhelming that they are the distinct, and I would argue more than any of the, almost 25 years I've been covering this game, they're going to be the overwhelming favorites going into the 2026 season.
Well, not to drag you into the conversations I have with my now 15-year-old son, who's a diehard baseball fan, plays MLB The Show every 2 seconds he can, and I did imbue him with well, he loves Boog Sciambi, and so I know, right? I imbued him with a love of the pinstripes. He's like showing me all sorts of crazy, rumors about, one involved Bryce Harper. And I basically said the Yanks need somebody like Stephen Kwan at the top of the lineup. They need find their Ernie Clement. And the reason why I bring that up is what you just said, that even though we're talking about the Dodgers being some massive juggernaut fueled by gajillions of dollars, they damn near lost the World Series to a bunch of guys who could put the ball in play, catch the ball, pitch it, throw split finger after split finger, and damn near pulled it off, right? So
true.
In a World Series that will live for the rest of our lives is one of the best ever, Jeff,
Yeah, and I think if you're a Yankees fan, what you can look at is the same way the Dodgers look at things. The Dodgers just signed Evan Phillips for $6.5 million. Evan Phillips is coming off of Tommy John surgery as a one-inning reliever and is not going to be back until about. So that shows you the Dodgers are planning for October. That's what they have their eye on. And if you look at October right now, And if Garrett Cole comes back healthy and Carlos Rodon comes back healthy, and Cam Schlittler, you get a full season of him, and of course Max Fried at the top of the rotation. That's the kind of rotation that can shut down a team like the Dodgers. So I think the fear of the Yankees and the Phillies have the same thing going on, frankly, is that this team looks a lot like last year's team, and neither of those teams last year made it to the World Series. And are they running it back? Yeah, pretty much. They are running it back, but those were also two of the winningest teams during the regular season. So you can rationalize, if you're them, the reasons behind it. The off seasons didn't necessarily go the way either team was hoping. But I'm not looking at the Yankees and the Phillies right now as dead in the water. It's just the same. And in sports, we've been conditioned to expect something a little bit different when what happened the year before didn't end with champion.
Yeah, because the Dodgers do that every year. Right? I mean,
they do. I mean, the Dodgers have won 2 in a row, and they went out and gave Kyle Tucker $240 million for 4 years.
Heck yeah.
And Edwin Diaz a 3-year, $69 million deal. So they added the best free agent in Major League Baseball this winter, and they added the best closer on the market, and probably one of the 3 best closers in the game right now. And when you factor in all those things, I think it's fair to ask the question of all the teams out there: do you want to win as much as the Dodgers? Like, is this important to you? And if so, how are you showing it? What are you doing to tell your fan base? And I think a lot of these organizations, and I get why they say we can't do this. We can't do it like the Dodgers. And they could. The rules are in place for them to do so. It would just take an enormous amount of spending to do so. And that's just something that team owners have not shown themselves willing to do. And yes, the Dodgers have enormous advantages, Rich, and so do the Mets. But those advantages are really made clear by the system that's in place right now. And that's ultimately what we're talking about today. What does the system look like? And how are there levers that can be pulled so that the Dodgers and the Mets don't separate themselves into a completely different stratosphere than where the rest of the teams in Major League Baseball are?
Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.